You seem so innocent, and every small shy glance you give me feels like another invitation you don't realize you're sending. You seem so innocent, and I keep wondering how someone so pure can stir up thoughts in me that are anything but pure. You seem so innocent, and it makes me want to take your hand, lock the door, and show you exactly why that innocence tempts me so much. You seem so innocent, and it's impossible not to imagine the moment your voice breaks, when you finally stop holding yourself back. You seem so innocent, and I swear, the way you breathe when you get nervous is enough to make me lose my composure instantly. You seem so innocent, and something about that innocence makes me want to explore every side of you, especially the ones you've never shown anyone. You seem so innocent, yet somehow you always manage to make my thoughts wander to places they probably shouldn't go. You seem so innocent, and the way you stand so close without realizing what it does to me is driving me insane. You seem so innocent, and it makes me want to lean in, whisper everything I feel, and watch you turn red from the truth. You seem so innocent, but there are moments when I swear you know exactly how tempting you are, and you enjoy it. You seem so innocent, and that delicate softness of yours makes me want to break every distance between us. You seem so innocent, and I catch myself staring at you longer than I should, imagining how you'd react to my touch. You seem so innocent, and it makes me wonder how you'd look if you finally let your guard fall for me completely. You seem so innocent, and your silence is becoming its own kind of temptation. Sweet, quiet, impossible to resist. You seem so innocent, but the way your eyes hold mine makes me question if you're truly unaware of your effect on me. You seem so innocent, and the more time I spend with you, the harder it becomes to control how badly I want you. You seem so innocent, and sometimes I think you're the universe's way of testing just how much restraint I actually have. You seem so innocent, and it honestly feels like you're the one person who could make me unravel without even trying. You seem so innocent, and the simple way you say my name sends a shiver through me that I can't hide. You seem so innocent, and I don't know what scares me more, wanting you this much or knowing you have no idea. You seem so innocent, and every time your fingers brush mine accidentally, my mind fills with possibilities I shouldn't be thinking. You seem so innocent, and it makes me want to pull you close until you understand exactly what you're waking up inside me. You seem so innocent, and that softness of yours makes my darker thoughts feel like they finally have a place to breathe. You seem so innocent, and the contrast between who you are and what I feel is becoming too intense to ignore. You seem so innocent, and it makes me imagine the moment you whisper that you feel the same way I do. You seem so innocent, and your quiet presence keeps pulling me in, even when I swear I'll keep my distance. You seem so innocent, but sometimes I catch a spark in your expression that makes me wonder if you're hiding a much deeper fire. You seem so innocent, and that purity of yours feels like a flame I want to get close to, even if it burns me. You seem so innocent, and every time you look at me with those soft eyes, I feel something inside me shift. You seem so innocent, and it takes everything in me not to close the gap between us and let my actions speak first. You seem so innocent, and that vulnerability you carry makes me want to hold you tight and never let you go. You seem so innocent, and your presence alone is enough to make my heart beat faster than I'm willing to admit. You seem so innocent, and it makes me wonder what secrets you keep behind that gentle smile. You seem so innocent, but I can't help wondering what you'd do if I whispered the thoughts you inspire in me. You seem so innocent, and something tells me you'd be breathtaking the moment you decide to stop pretending. You seem so innocent, and that innocence feels like a treasure I want to guard and a temptation I want to experience. You seem so innocent, and the way you move, unaware of your own effect, is enough to break my self-control. You seem so innocent, and every time you lean a little closer, I wonder if you feel the same pull I do. You seem so innocent, and I'm not sure you understand how dangerously beautiful that makes you in my eyes. You seem so innocent, and I can't help picturing the moment your voice cracks with emotion because of me. You seem so innocent, and your softness is the very thing that makes me want to explore every hidden side of you. You seem so innocent, and I keep imagining the expression you'd wear if I finally let my real feelings slip out. You seem so innocent, and the way you shy away from intense moments only makes me want you more. You seem so innocent, and that innocence pulls me in deeper than anything else ever has. I want to protect it, but God, I also want to break it. You seem so innocent, and it drives me insane how someone like you can make someone like me lose every bit of control. You seem so innocent, and that's exactly why I can't look away. You make me crave things I promised myself I'd never want again. You seem so innocent, but the way you look at me makes me feel like you secretly know the effect you have on me. You seem so innocent, and yet every time you speak, I feel something dangerous waking up inside me. You seem so innocent, and it makes me want to pull you close, whisper every dark truth I've kept buried, and watch how you handle it. You seem so innocent, but that innocence is the exact thing that tempts every bad part of me to come out. You seem so innocent, and it's making me imagine things I'm not sure I should even be thinking about. You seem so innocent, and it terrifies me because I know I'd ruin you with everything I'm capable of feeling. You seem so innocent, and it's almost painful how much I want to see the way you react when I get a little closer. You seem so innocent, but your silence says things that your lips are too shy to admit. You seem so innocent, and that softness of yours is making my thoughts turn wild in the quietest, most dangerous ways. You seem so innocent, and it makes me want to take your hand and show you a world you've never dared to imagine. You seem so innocent, and I swear, every time your eyes meet mine, I feel myself losing the battle to stay composed. You seem so innocent, and the way you bite your lip sometimes makes it impossible for me to think straight. You seem so innocent, which is exactly why your presence feels like a test I'm destined to fail. You seem so innocent, and it's honestly too tempting not to wonder what you'd do if I whispered the truth in your ear. You seem so innocent, and part of me aches to know what's hidden behind that soft smile you always wear. You seem so innocent, and I can't stop imagining what you'd look like if you finally stopped pretending you weren't curious too. You seem so innocent, and it makes me want to keep you close, not because I should, but because I can't help myself. You seem so innocent, and sometimes I think you don't even realize the kind of storm you've started inside me. You seem so innocent, yet somehow you're the only one who makes me feel like losing control wouldn't be a mistake. You seem so innocent, and you have no idea how much strength it takes for me to act normal around you. You seem so innocent, but I swear there's something in you that knows exactly what you're doing to me. You seem so innocent, and every time you laugh softly, I feel my resolve slipping away piece by piece. You seem so innocent, and all I want is to hear your voice trembling when you finally admit you feel this too. You seem so innocent, which makes it impossible not to crave the moment you let that innocence fall for me completely. You seem so innocent, and it's honestly too tempting to imagine what you'd look like when you're the one who can't resist anymore. You seem so innocent, and your warmth makes my darkest thoughts feel a little less forbidden. You seem so innocent, and somehow that innocence makes my intentions so much harder to hide. You seem so innocent, and it makes me want to teach you everything you've never dared to ask about. You seem so innocent, and I hate how much power that gives you without you even noticing it. You seem so innocent, and it feels like you walk straight into the part of me I never let anyone touch. You seem so innocent, and your presence hits me harder than any temptation I've ever known. You seem so innocent, and my mind keeps wandering to the moment you'd finally let me get close, really close. You seem so innocent, and every time you blush, it makes me want to push just a little further. You seem so innocent, and it's honestly dangerous how much I want to be the one who changes that. You seem so innocent, and it makes me imagine your reaction if I finally stopped holding back. You seem so innocent, yet somehow I know you feel this tension just as much as I do. You seem so innocent, and it's too tempting not to wonder what your voice would sound like when you finally stop pretending. You seem so innocent, and the more I try to resist you, the deeper I fall into wanting you. You seem so innocent, and it kills me because I want to be gentle, but everything about you makes me feel wild. You seem so innocent, and it's impossible not to imagine what it would be like to hear you whisper my name differently. You seem so innocent, and part of me wants to stay away, but the rest of me wants to pull you closer than ever. You seem so innocent, and that innocence feels like a spotlight revealing the parts of me I've tried to hide.